John, can you tell us how you got into professional services and financial services in particular?
Well, interestingly, it's been a long road. I started straight from school. I joined my first firm when I was 18. That was a mid-tier practice. And then when I was rolling down kind of 2 years post-qualified experience at the age of 26, at that stage I had a young family, but I also had this kind of bug to go travelling. And I wanted to get some Big Four experience. So EY provided a platform for me to go to South Africa with my family. So I moved to Johannesburg in 1998, trundled off for a 2-year stint. I really loved the firm over there. They were very progressive and gave me a lot of responsibility. Consequently, I ended up staying 5 years, and if it had been left to my wife, we'd have probably stayed for good.
And what are the biggest changes you've seen, John, over the course of the time you've been with the firm?
I think the firm has been very dynamic in its growth. So when I got back in 2003, we had maybe 800-900 people, and we're now over 3,000. So we've grown across all industry groups. I think for me, one of the biggest changes when I came back, and I came back from South Africa, which was very focused in this post-apartheid period on transformation, on affirmative action. So when I came back, it was very normal for me in South Africa to have a really good gender balance amongst our leaders. And when I came back to Ireland, I didn't find that. And I think we've changed that significantly over the last kind of 20 years. I think in addition to that, as our borders have opened, we've become a much more multicultural and a much more encompassing firm. So we have over 40 different nationalities working within the firm at the moment. I think in terms of my own side, I think that it's really, being able to take aviation finance from what was kind of embryonic at the time and then to build it into a thriving kind of sustainable business. And really the firm invested in me. So I was almost kind of working as a business within a broad business, and they really gave me all of the platform that I needed to grow that. So we are by far, I think of the Big Four, we are the most globally integrated financial services organisation. So for me to build a practice, even though Ireland is the centre of excellence and is viewed as the global hub, I did need the support of partners in Asia, partners in the US, partners in Europe, and they really gave up their time, and they took time to meet myself and my team, and then to understand their story, and then to kind of pitch that story to their clients. And all of that assisted in kind of bringing us to where we are now.
And John, where do you see the biggest opportunities in terms of growth or jobs within your area in EY?
It's really across the board. So, we started really kind of looking to build credentials within the insurance side. And then we brought in John Hannigan, who heads up the tax practice, and he's built a team out of there. We didn't really offer all the spokes to the wheel. Over the last kind of 2 to 3 years, we now have a transaction services partner. We also have a financial advisory partner. So we now offer a kind of full suite of offerings. And what we're finding now is we've been growing significantly across all areas. So when we started, we had like one client, maybe 1% market share. We're now in the kind of early to mid 30s in terms of our market share. And we're finding that we have opportunities across all of those subsectors. So we've gone from 50 people 3 to 5 years ago to 110 people now. Our expectation is that we will be 200 plus people in the next 5 years. So there's going to be lots of opportunities. We've also then worked to build Ireland as a global hub, but we also have satellite operations in the east and west coast of the US, in Singapore and Hong Kong and Beijing, and some smaller cities within Europe.
And John, where do you see your clients' needs evolving over the next number of years?
Well, it's a great industry, first and foremost. Okay, so if you look back over the last 10 years, the airlines have been profitable every year. If you're looking at the growth in passenger numbers, from 2018 to 2019, there was an additional 200 million passengers flying. So it's an industry that's evolving, that's growing, and unless we come up with a new mode of transport, one would believe that we will continue to evolve and grow. In terms of our clients' kind of challenges in the current environment, obviously the OEMs and product reliability post the kind of 737 MAX issue has brought a lot of attention to the industry. And in addition to that, I guess sustainability and carbon emissions is a big focus for the industry. But again, when one looks at the industry, if you go back, carbon emissions per passenger have reduced significantly since 1990. The industry only contributes, 2 to 2.5% of the total carbon emissions. But again, it needs to get its story across. It has been investing in, new fuel efficient, lower carbon emission engines. And of all industries, transport industries, it probably has done the most to reduce carbon emissions. But it needs to bring out that story, and it also needs to continue to invest in technology.
John, what advice would you give to anyone thinking of joining the aviation finance industry?
Well, I think if you're a people person, if you're driven and you want to get into the aviation finance industry, then I think starting your career with EY is perfect. We work across all aspects of the industry. We work with all of the top lessors. Currently, we work with 14 of the top 15 lessors, either across assurance, tax, transaction advisory services, or FAS. So if you want to work in that industry, coming to work with EY makes great sense.
Thank you very much, John. Thank you.